Greetings and welcome to Weird Wizard's Winter Wonderland! Oh yes, that's right, we're back in our snowy frozen river valley here, along with the snowman that we built last time. He is looking very magnificent up there. We had a few suggestions for names for him. Now, you know, I was sort of thinking like Bob or Alan or something like that. But frankly, you folks came up with much, much better suggestions. And by you folks, of course, I am referring to the trans-dimensional beings who exist somewhere out there in the metaverse and somehow managed to actually view the goings-on in this reality here that I occupy, which is nice. But the suggestions, Chrome Drake suggested the magnificent Thrym, King of the Frost Giants. I mean, I suppose he is a bit of a frost giant, and along similar lines, Storied Past also suggested, now let me see here, he actually gave me a phonetic pronunciation, Regnilse, possibly, which is Old Norse for frost giant. It's also a bit of a mouthful, to be fair, and I'm not 100% convinced I'm actually pronouncing it correct. By the way, Old Norse, I of course do live in medieval times, so would it not be New Norse, maybe, at this point? Not sure. Anyway, he is a magnificent fellow, but today we're going to make him even more magnificent, because what is more magnificent than a giant snowman? Well, I'll tell you, it's a giant snowman that you can live inside. So we're going to hollow out at least the belly, possibly further up as well, and we're also going to kind of like decorate around the outside here and just make this somewhere that's really nice to hang out and stay. I think that's the right thing to do. I mean, it almost feels like it's a shame to leave him, I mean, not to kind of like spoil him. But, you know, I think ultimately a snowman house is cooler than just a snowman on its own. So let's do that. Now, I can't think of a better place to put an entrance than right here at the front base of the belly. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, yeah, of course it does. Of course it makes perfect sense. What we need to do, of course, is we need to cut a hole into him, which means using our voxel building tools, and indeed our voxel removal tools, as they are one and the same thing. We'll take them off the voxel grid, of course, because that makes it easier to work with, and then we just start cutting our holes. I was kind of concerned that this might anger old Regnilse there, but he didn't really stir as I was doing this. In fact, it kind of got worse because I decided to hollow out the whole belly in one fell swoop by just using the sphere tool and setting it to a little bit smaller than the belly. But yeah, it didn't go so well. Fortunately, I was able to repair that. Taking a little bit more care the second time, I was able to successfully hollow out Regnilse. And I needed to clear a little bit of snow, obviously, but then I entered the belly of the beast for the very first time. This shall be my new home, and frankly, I'm quite pleased. The dimensions seem reasonable. It's nice and cozy, cozier than I was expecting it to be anyway. It needed a doorway, obviously, so I added a door, and then set to work on the interior. Yes, I am pleased with this. I am very pleased, although it is kind of white at the moment and a little bit stark. Plus, of course, the floor is made of snow and is kind of bowl-shaped. So let's put a floor down. A simple wooden floor. That'll make this place feel a whole lot more homely. And there. Another one just here and here, all the way around. This part of building a snowman house is surprisingly like building any normal house, actually, as it happens. Although, of course, I am building on and within snow, so that is a bit different. I'm just going to check outside quickly and make sure that none of the floor is poking out through the side of Regnilse, because I'm sure he wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like to be showing floor where he wasn't supposed to be. Now, I have a cunning plan. I'm just going to go in through Regnilse's eye socket here into his hollowed out head. Because I have a cunning plan, I'm going to hollow the head out even more because, of course, Regnilse has no need of a brain. And once I have made a reasonable sort of cavity here, I'm then going to just dig a straight shaft right down into the hollowed out belly, which I'll then be able to use to access the head and the belly. I haven't exactly figured out whether I'm going to build stairs here or whether I'm just going to require myself to fly to get in and out of the head. But either way, I would want to have access, and I probably might even think about putting my bedroom in the head, because why not? Who doesn't want a bedroom in a snowman's head? Good, alright, so we're through. The next step, obviously, is going to be to expand this a little bit, because it can be quite a bit bigger than this, I think, and maybe also hollow out the chest ball area so that we can sort of maybe build a second story up there, or maybe even a third story. Frankly, I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work out yet. I don't have a clear vision in my mind of precisely what this is going to look like when it's finished, or what kind of room we're going to have inside. Obviously, I'm going to be quite cautious about digging too much of the interior out, because we don't want any big holes in the side of Regnilse. He wouldn't like that at all. He would probably get very angry, and when he gets very angry, terrifying things occur. I don't know if there's any nearby villages, or any sort of villagers or anything who possibly worship Regnilse as some kind of god. It's certainly a possibility, though. I am a little bit concerned that I'm not going to be able to fit a stairwell into this kind of space here. It seems a bit tight for any kind of stairwell. What I could really do with is some kind of vertical climbing device, possibly 2 long legs with horizontal bars along it. I mean, surely such a technological innovation is not beyond us medieval people. Fortunately, as a wizard, I can always fly. Anyway, let's get the second floor put in. That's looking very nice. Now here, of course, there is plenty of room for a stairway to access the second floor. So we'll have that. We'll have like a kind of an entrance level here at the bottom, I guess. Why can't I place this stair, by the way? What's going on here? I've put a wall in, but I still can't place it. It just won't go. Holding Alt or not holding Alt makes no difference. My magic is failing me. Try removing that. That worked. Why did that work? Why can I not have a wooden board underneath my stairs? Now, it seems the gods of medieval engineers have been at their old tricks again, and have been messing around with the fabric of reality. It definitely seems to be the case that I can now not have stairs on the same area as wooden floorboards, which is really strange. I mean, that is a very strange situation to find myself in. I guess I'm going to have to delete this here, this bit of floorboard, in order to be able to go up to the next level. I mean, it's not the end of the world, for sure, but it seems to be rather unintuitive, if you will, pardon the phraseology. It seems to be particularly unintuitive, as does the fact that I cannot place this now. How do I target this? Alright, I can do it from above. Fine then. Fine, gods of medieval engineers, have it your way. But this has drawn the attention of Regnilse. Beware. Okay, so let's just get on with dressing the interior a little bit, shall we? And making it feel a little bit more homely. I don't think I'm going to put any more walls up. I mean, I might wall in the stairs, but I'm not going to wall all of the outside bits here, partly because that would mean cutting off parts of the interior that we don't need to, and partly because I quite like the snow. I just quite like it. Let's put down some bits of furniture, though. We'll put down some torches as well, just to light up in here. Now, obviously, these are magical torches that don't melt the snow, or possibly the snow is magical snow that cannot be melted by torches. Actually, it's probably both. Both of these are the case. After all, we are a wizard, and we're not going to live in a dingy, cold snowman. Oh no. I think I will just block in the stairwell here a little bit, just to create a bit of internal definition and to break up the space on the ground level here a little bit, to give a little bit more visual interest to the space when you walk in. So the first floor will be like the entrance hall, then the second floor will be the main living space, I guess, and my bedroom is going to have to be up here somewhere. Probably the head. I mean, it's got to be the head, doesn't it? It really does have to be the head. That was sort of my intention all along, was to build a bedroom in the head so that I could wake up of a morning, walk up to the eye sockets and stare out across the land and generally behold the land around me and all of the many Christmas minions staring up in awe at Regnilse in his magnificence. Little attic storage space there, just because. We'll put a bar on to make sure that these boxes don't come clattering down. On the off chance that Regnilse decides to get up and walk around or something, it probably would be a good idea for these things to be relatively well secured. I think, anyway. Now, getting in and out of here is definitely going to be a bit of a pain. Although maybe we can hollow it out a little bit more. There's probably enough room and enough spare capacity to do so. But in the meantime, I'm just going to crack on as I think about that, sort of, dressing the interior a little bit more, adding little details, little touches. There's still a lot of work to do here, but it just helps to make it feel a little bit more homely and things when you add a few props and stuff Did I say props? I meant furniture. A few pieces of furniture around in the house that you're going to live in. In fact, I really need to get the minions or possibly besiege the gods to create more items of furniture. One thing that as a wizard I'm particularly interested in, of course, is books and bookcases. And scrolls for that matter, and indeed scroll cases, candles, bowls, plates, pots and pans, cauldrons, all manner of wizarding paraphernalia and or alchemical paraphernalia. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit distracted, and as I've been doing that, I've been building a staircase, because I'm pretty sure I can actually hollow this shaft out sufficiently to be able to build a staircase up like this, and thereby provide access to my bedroom chamber slash Regnilse's brain case by stairway, which of course is important because although as a wizard I can fly, for one, it can get a little bit tiring, doing so, and for two, if my experiences with the shamans of the Fallen Forest and indeed the wizarding in the woods that has occurred recently, then, I know that it's not always necessarily guaranteed that I will have access to my wizarding powers, and not being able to get to my bedroom when I didn't have my wizarding powers for whatever reason would of course be a little bit upsetting, it wouldn't be ideal. Plus, of course, I might want to take a minion or something up there, to my bedchamber, maybe. I mean, not for anything dodgy or anything, just, like as a pal, maybe, to kind of like say, hey, come and have a look at my cool stuff, or something. Yeah? No? Maybe? I don't know. Look, let's just carry on building, shall we? Because clearly that's the most important thing. Oh no, look what's happened. I got totally distracted and carried away thinking about taking minions up to my bedchamber, and now I have caused some kind of collapse, which I'm going to have to clean up. Interestingly, I don't seem to be able to remove all fracture pieces anymore. I have to actually manually go and find them with my hammer and remove them. I'm not sure if that is just me being foolish, or maybe I have forgotten the necessary magic, but that seemed to be the case. Anyway, I think we're going to have like a snowy ramp up the last section, just because, it is a snowman, and we've got to have a snowy ramp somewhere, right? I mean, what if I want to do a little bit of sledding inside, a bit of indoor sledding? I mean, frankly, no giant snowman house, let alone the giant snowman house that is the mighty Regnilse, the frost giant, no such house would be complete without an indoor sledding access way in and out of a bedchamber, possibly for the purposes of entertaining minions. I mean, entertaining them on the sledding run, obviously. Although, frankly, managing to convince a minion to climb all the way up here would be a minor miracle in and of itself. Anyway, look, let's not spend any more time thinking about minions in my bedchamber, or anything of that nature, because that is just a complete distraction. The reason why we're here, of course, is to continue building Regnilse and to make sure that he is the mightiest and finest snowman house slash frost giant slash terror of the land. And that's good. Anyway, let's head down and we can test out our new stairway come sledding route here. I'm actually thinking now that we could have had a sledding run the entire way down. Maybe I'll replace all of these stairs with just a sledding run. Not that I can actually sled, because I don't have a sled, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of mechanics to allow you to sled. And of course, even the snow itself is created by a rogue god, and not one of the core medieval engineers gods. And therefore, frankly, it's not really supported in any way, shape, or form. But let's not get distracted by that right now. Let's continue to look at the building and what we have to do here. I think I've pretty much finished for this session. We haven't done anything in the living room slash study area here. Of course, we don't actually have any bookcases or scroll cases or anything like that. Or indeed sort of, cooking utensils, basically all of the furniture stuff that I mentioned earlier. It would be nice to have all of that in order to build in the living room, but as I don't have it, I'm just going to leave it for now. We'll come up with some kind of solution, obviously. There will be things that we can do. But as we head down into the entrance hall of Regnilse, the belly of the beast, and the most complete room, really. I suppose the bedroom, the bedchamber is also relatively complete. So top and bottom are relatively well covered. We're going to have to work out what we're going to do with those different levels of Regnilse, and indeed, we could always add something below. A basement of some sort. No, wait. No, not a basement. A dungeon. A Christmas dungeon, obviously. A festive dungeon filled with the spirit of the season. As well as possibly some kind of torture devices. We haven't finished with the interior, obviously. There's an awful lot more dressing and stuff to go. But having blocked out sort of this bit, I'm pretty happy with it, I have to say. Living inside a snowman, it's surprisingly spacious and comfortable. Well, there we go. That is the second episode. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Our Winter Wonderland continues to develop nicely, and I think you'll agree that Regnilse is doing wonderfully as well. He is now a lovely home for me to live in whilst I continue to develop the Winter Wonderland. He, of course, is projecting his magnificence across the land as well, and that is only amplified by the fact that he has a wizard living inside him. I mean, a frost giant is epic. A frost giant with a wizard living inside him. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. That just blows my mind. And we'll see if we can blow it further at some point in the future. But until then, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I have been Weird Wizard, and I will see you later.